My ex made our son work for her custody lawyer. I dropped Theo off at school like always. He waved, dinosaur backpack bouncing on his shoulders, and vanished into the building. It was our little routine. Kiss on the cheek, wave, drive off with coffee in hand. 10 minutes later, I was still in the parking lot scrolling through emails when I saw his teacher power walking toward my car. "Why is your son absent today?" she asked, out of breath. I laughed. "He's not. I literally just watched him go inside." Her face went white. "He never came to class. In fact, Theo hasn't been in my classroom for 3 weeks." I felt like the ground dropped out from under me. "That's impossible. I've been dropping him off every single morning." She didn't argue. She just picked up the office phone with shaking hands. "We need to go see Principal Miles." Inside the office, the secretary was crying before we even spoke. Principal Miles had already pulled up the school's security footage. "Watch this," he said. There was Theo at 7:46 a.m., scanning his student badge and heading toward his hallway. Timestamp this morning. Then the next camera angle. Theo veering away from class, pushing through an emergency exit near the gym. Outside, a man in a reflective vest waited beside a white pickup. Theo climbed in. They drove off at 7:49 a.m. Miles rubbed his forehead. "That's been happening every morning for 3 weeks. The man said he was Theo's uncle, taking him to medical appointments. He had signed permission slips. With your signature, my knees almost gave out." "Those are fake." Before I could say more, Theo's teacher whispered, "Child Protective Services is coming to your house at 11. They think Theo's been missing from school for weeks. If he's not there..." I didn't even let her finish. I sprinted to my car and grabbed Theo's phone from the console. It had slipped between the seats days ago. 47 unread messages, all from Uncle Mike. "Don't tell your dad. You know what happens if you talk. If you don't come today, you'll never see your mom again." My blood turned to ice. Uncle Mike was my ex-wife's step-uncle. I called Maya. No answer. Her husband, Derek, voicemail. CPS would be at my house in less than 2 hours. I drove straight to Derek's apartment. Gone. The landlord said they'd left early. Maya's job said she hadn't shown up in days. That's when I remembered. Uncle Mike owned a construction company. If Theo was being taken somewhere every morning, maybe that's where he was. I stormed into Mike's office. The receptionist froze. "Where's your crew working today?" I demanded. She hesitated. "Highway 40, the overpass project." 35 minutes later, I screeched into the gravel lot of a roaring construction site. Dust everywhere, smell of diesel, concrete mixers rumbling, and there he was, Theo, my 11-year-old, wearing a safety vest way too big, hauling a sack of cement across the dirt. His dinosaur backpack was tossed aside. His little arms had red welts. "Theo!" I shouted. He froze. "Dad, you're not supposed to be here. I'm here to take you home." He shook his head. "I can't. Derek said you'd be mad if I stopped working." Before I could respond, 2 vehicles pulled up. Maya's Honda and Derek's truck. Maya got out first, arms crossed. "Theo's got 3 more hours on his shift." I blinked. "His what?" "He's 11, Maya. He's learning real skills," she said. Like that made it better. "He's making $1,800 a week. That's more than I ever made in school. We're using it for my custody lawyer." "You knew?" I choked out. "Of course I knew," she snapped. "It was my idea. Derek's uncle needed help, and we needed money. Don't act like you're father of the year." I was about to lose it when red and blue lights flashed across the dirt. "Police." An officer shouted for everyone to stay put. Another knelt beside Theo, gently asking if he was hurt. When he lifted his shirt, I saw bruises across his shoulders. I'll never forget that. They called for an ambulance. I gave the lead officer Theo's phone, showing him the messages from Uncle Mike. Mike tried to defend himself, waving papers. "I thought it was authorized. I had signed forms." The officers weren't buying it. They demanded his employment records, contractor license, everything. The guy went pale. Theo clung to me, shaking. Paramedics checked him over, said he needed urgent care. They let me ride with him. As the ambulance pulled away, I looked out the back window. Maya was screaming at the cops, Derek pacing beside her. Neither of them looked scared or sorry, just pissed they got caught. Theo squeezed my hand and whispered, "Am I in trouble?" I swallowed hard. "Nobody. You're safe now." Click the full story to see what happened next.